What are your thoughts on this kind of like monster here of NBA star culture, and where does it stop? At what point does say a James Harden can do it or a Giannis can do it? Does Joe Harris get to like demand a trade and say, "Well, I don't want to be on the Nets anymore. Trade me to Miami"? Is it a slippery slope? Is this sort of stuff and kowtowing to it? Is it good for the league to have these stars have this much control and want more?
Well, no, it's terrible for the league. But here's why these, like the James Hardens and the ADs, get to do it. If these players aren't there, no fans show up. If these players being on these teams is what drives revenue. It's what drives jersey sales. It's what puts extra money in the owners' pockets. It's what pays all the employees of the team. It's these star players doing all these crazy things with an orange ball in their hands for 48 minutes, 3 or 4 times a week. And look, I don't like it, but I think that it's unavoidable at this point. Now that everything's on social media now as well, like the Eric Bledsoe thing. If James Harden was doing all that stuff with those rappers in Atlanta instead of training with the Rockets, then he took off his fat suit, and then he showed up in Brooklyn looking like he had just done like a 2-year Weight Watcher plan in 2 weeks somehow. But, here's the thing. I think it's great that these star players feel empowered enough and that they think that they can do these things. I also love that Bradley Beal is doing what you're just supposed to do. Put your head down, play the game, and stop feeding the speculation, right? And these players know everything they say is going to be examined under a microscope. Articles are going to be written about this one quote by 300 people. When LeBron was on the way out in Miami, it seemed that he didn't hint anything about coming back, and he was very cryptic. Like, there's these cryptic messages, right? When you ask Giannis about his free agency and he doesn't just commit verbally, which he can say, yeah, I'm staying. Although Kyrie did that and then bailed, but that's actually better.
Yeah.
That's better for everybody, though, at the end
I'll
of the day.
have you if you'll have me, Boston.
But, these stars do need to just, at the end of the day, get a reality check. I mean, it's not going to change. I don't think it's great for the game, but what can you do? Can you... If
I say, can anything be done? What is there anything to do?
They've tried. They've tried with the Supermax deal, and they tried getting these stars to stay where they are. They don't do it.
No, and I think that at the end of the day, everything that happens off the court and everything that happens in the bubble and last offseason and just everything that happens with the racial injustice protests, everything is about the players right now. How are the players going to feel about this? How do they feel about this, right? Do they feel empowered? Do they feel comfortable in the league? These players feel empowered. It goes beyond just having a voice in political issues. It also goes saying, I don't want to be here. Like James Harden said, I've done everything I can. I'm done. Anthony Davis, that's all, folks. Oh, someone else picks my shirts. I didn't do that. Eric Bledsoe, I don't want to be here. Joking that, I was at a salon. I was taking forever. No, you want to be traded. But it's a weird...
Where do you draw the line, though, between owners, GMs, teams respecting the players and them as people and obviously wanting to empower them as people? Nothing's wrong with that. And players not wanting to honor contracts. At the end of the day, this is a business. These are employees who sign a contract. If you want to work in an environment where you can't be traded or discarded, then go do something else. This is the way sports work. So does it take like a team? Maybe it should have been Houston standing up to James Harden and saying, no, we're not going to trade you right now just because you want us to. We have a decent team. We want to win with you. Like, it's not like the Rockets were going to completely fall apart and become a lottery team. They could have been competitive. It wasn't like he was going into a contract year and wanted out the way like Anthony Davis did. Or the way Kawhi Leonard held out because he was angry over the handling of an injury, but he was 1 year left, and he basically played hardball and wanted to get traded or wanted to be let go. There's guys now who sign a contract, a 4-year deal, and then like after a year they're like, never mind, I want out, and they act like the team just has to trade them and do what they want. Should the Rockets have been the first team to kind of like hold his feet to the fire and say, listen, we want you to play. You don't want to play for us? Then fine. Sit out. We'll fine you every single game. We'll suspend you. The league will fine you. Like, at some point, like, does it take a team doing that to set an example? Is that the only way this will like get reined in?
Yeah, absolutely.
And would that even happen? Like you said, is that them just going, the prevailing winds right now? This would be really bad to do.
Well, I think the only way that a player is ever allowed to do any of this is if they win a championship first. And then they decide they want to do something else. You sign this big contract because they take a chance on you to lead them to the championship. Very few owners are willing to just make a power move. I think the only owner I could see let's just pretend, guys, in 5 years, Luka becomes unhappy, says, I want out of Dallas. The only owner I could just
Cuban.
Only owner, I mean, he's done so much. He's been fined millions. He literally got fined $250K to say goodbye to David Stern as like one final send off, because that's just what I don't, whatever. But he lays down the law. He's fierce when he's on Shark Tank. I think he's the only owner I could see making a move like that to say, hey, you're under contract with us. You chose us. No.